Hello and welcome back. This episode I call Say It Another Way. I'm going to bring you back to the basics on the 3 discoveries for freeing your true self. Now, you may know by now that I am a teacher at heart, and I believe repetition is the mother of learning, and something is compelling me to bring us back to a refresher on the 3 discoveries. And saying it another way is kind of the theme, because as I take you through them, I want to try to say it in a completely different way. I don't know if it's going to come out that way, but the mini aha around this is, I look at this last 12 months and I see it so many different ways in so many places, the power of these 3 discoveries. And it may simply be my cognitive bias and awareness that just kind of sees it every way and interprets it the way I want to interpret it. But it's everywhere for me. And I'll share what that means as we dive deeper. What's also interesting about this timing is at the moment of the release of this episode, the revised version of Shine is out today. And so I hope you will pick up a copy. This is where we completely revised it from a standpoint of 3 things. We flipped parts 1 and 2 based on a lot of feedback. We changed the target market and expanded it to all driven people, not just driven entrepreneurs. And so it's speaking to driven people. And then we've revised and updated some of the content, which again is what's going to kind of come through in this conversation. And then I also lovingly like to say I put a little God in it. So again, pick up a copy if you're compelled or drawn to. But again, I'm going to say it another way. So I'll start by giving you the high level of what the 3 discoveries to free your true self are. Obviously, discovery number 1 is I am driven. Discovery number 2 is that all decisions are made out of love or fear. And discovery number 3 is that it is possible to be driven and have peace. And we're simply going to take them one at a time and have a conversation about them. And so let's start with I am driven. In the nutshell is that we driven people, which are the creators of most things on the planet, are a blessing and a curse. And so I've said that certainly many times, but I want to drill down on the blessing and the curse because we have this incredible gift. And if we could free our true selves and let that drive fly, we will be more creative, more intuitive, more impactful. And that's ultimately the goal. And so those gifts show up all day, every day. And on the other side of that, however, is a black trail, is angst, is an amped up central nervous system for whatever reason, which we'll talk about more when we get to discovery number 2. But the point I want to make here is that gift that you have is that gift, that driven gift, that ability to create in this world. Does it sit on a foundation of angst or does it sit on a foundation of peace? And that's ultimately where we're going. And it's important to distinguish. I could never distinguish. It took me until 5 years ago to distinguish the difference between angst and peace, because I thought the angst that I lived with in my foundation since age 15, and certainly probably before that, I thought it was normal. I thought that's how everyone lived, and it's not normal. And so to distinguish those things, your drive from angst and peace is a very, very powerful discovery. I'll leave it at that and take you to discovery number 2. So again, discovery number 2 is that decisions are made out of love or fear. And so this is the one that I see this everywhere. When I'm reading personal development related stuff, reading, listening, learning, conversations. And again, it may be my cognitive bias, but with that, to have that clarity and understanding about our thoughts, feelings, and emotions as we operate all day, every day, at any given moment, the awareness, am I feeling love? There's that foundation of peace. Or am I feeling fear? There's that foundation of angst. What is going on in my body at that time? And certainly it oscillates. For most of us, most of the time it's fear. For some of us, most of the time it's love, and we're just trying to move that needle to more and more love-based thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And with that awareness, I'm not going to take you down the 4 levels because I'm going to look at you as my advanced group and you understand the 4 levels, but I'm going to touch on the 4 levels as I try and say it a different way. But a quick reminder, level 1, the true self level. Then level 2, the pure energy level, then level 3, the blocked energy level, and then number 4, the awareness level. Just a reminder there for you, but I'm going to kind of roll them all into one riff, if you will, and one different way of saying it or another way of saying it. And so again, it's this awareness, clarity, knowing that we have this beautiful ball of light inside of us, our true self, our soul, our spirit, whatever word works for you. And it is typically trapped and blocked by past pain and memories that we've buried down and created a persona that hides it and we think is protecting us. But unfortunately, it is not. All it is doing is holding us back from fully being who we are supposed to be in this world. So with that said, I'm going to begin at the end in terms of saying this another way. And that is, again, it's very complex thinking about, the ego and how it created that package and it's blocking all of this stuff. And there you are and they're trapped. And it's all about just letting it all go, freeing it, healing and shining bright. Beginning at the end is this realization that, maybe we don't need to understand any of it, understand any of those layers, because it is as simple as just simply shedding all of our shit, shedding all of the stuff. And I believe, I've said this before, that it can be done in a snap. And sometimes it's done for people in a medicine journey, and sometimes it's done through a great therapist, and sometimes it's done through a crisis, whether it's a health crisis or divorce or death, where you have a wake-up call and it's like you realize, holy shit, none of that stuff matters anymore. Why did I hang on so long? And it could also be as simple as with 10-year thinking. And when you really go deep, as I talked about in the previous episode, and realizing that there is no time. 10-year thinking is about long-range thinking, getting to that point where there is no time and all there is today, and there's no future and there's no past. And in that place, all of a sudden, everything from the past just dissolves. So it's possible that you don't have to understand this on such an intellectual level, and just kind of see so clearly this beautiful ball of light encased in this dark cocoon are all of these blocks from the past, and just see yourself releasing them all and having this aha moment that, why in the hell am I hanging on to all this stuff that is no longer serving me? Now, a boy can dream. So I know it's a tall order. It's saying a lot, but I'm beginning at the end here and saying, wow, that's possible, but certainly challenging. But it's just getting to this place, and I'll say it again, that where you realize all this shit doesn't matter. Why am I doing this to myself? And at least for me, again, I'm going to say it again, it might be cognitive bias, but in this last 5 years, I feel like I'm hearing people speak this language more. people acting this way more, having more conversations like this openly. So it just feels like people are starting to see it. I hope it's true. And then on to discovery number 3, that it is possible to be driven and have peace. And this is the aha, voila moment. And maybe this takes us right to the point I'm trying to make, where that realization that this driven being I am, that has done both good and bad in the world, that has done great things and caused a lot of damage, that has left a black trail behind us, it is possible to be this driven being and have peace and be on a foundation of peace. It is possible. And it's almost like this discovery, if you grasp this discovery, you don't need to know on any of the other discoveries, because this is it. You are a beautiful being. Sometimes you intimidate people. Sometimes you scare people. Sometimes you do stupid things because you're running so hard. But see your gift and then realize, become aware of that angst that you're operating on and that it can all go away. Realize it's from the past. It's stuff you're hanging on to for some reason. And then the ultimate goal here is to live your life from the inside out, is to live an inside out life, not an outside in life. It's where you're operating from a knowing and intuition, your instinct, where your true self, soul, spirit, heart, whatever you want to call it, is leading the charge, the inside of you. And then outwardly, you are just that, as opposed to the way most of us are living our lives, and that's outside in, where everything we're doing is being weighed against looking at the outside world and the judgment of others and running it through this ego filter and doing the math and looking at 8 different ways and how is this going to hurt me or affect me or whatever it is. That's outside in living. And so the goal here with this third discovery is to get to living an inside out life. And then the last point I'll make is I want you to think of the true self model, that infinity model, where on the left side we use the word impact and on the right side we use the word peace. Those are the words that Rob and I love to use. And so that's why we chose those words, but you get to choose your word. And just a fun little aha impact story is one of our mastermind students had an aha. It was actually yesterday in our mastermind session. And I am obsessing a little bit about this word toil. I'm not going to go into toil in great detail, but the word is used a lot in the Bible. I'm not a big Bible guy, but I'm a spiritual dude. I believe in God. I think you all know my beliefs at this point in time. I'm not preaching or pushing anything, but this word toil keeps coming up. And the way that Jesus used the word toil, it sometimes has a negative connotation. And it's interesting in the Bible because it starts out with a negative connotation, but as Jesus talks about it, it has a very powerful spiritual meaning. And when I think about impact and this gift that we have and this impact we make on the world and this thing we do in the world, toil to me is almost like the perfect word, especially if you love the Bible and you're Christian. And it's a beautiful, beautiful word if you really drill down and understand it. But the aha for this mastermind client of ours is where, again, the true self model, infinity model for us on the left is impact, on the right is peace. His aha is on the left for him is toil, and on the right is enlightenment. So again, you get to choose your word, but man, that was a beautiful moment. And again, it means something to that person. And so when you come up with your words, what goes on the left, what goes on the right, and then the infinity model insinuates this beautiful balance of those two things, in his case, toiling every day while remaining enlightened. Oh, it's so beautiful. And so that's the end game. And so with all of that said, I hope maybe I said it another way. Worst case, even if I repeated myself verbatim, I'm a teacher at heart. Repetition is the mother of learning. I'm wanting to bring you back to the basics. So my wish for you is that you free your true self, let your freak flag fly, and make a huge impact on this world.
Thank you for listening in today. We truly appreciate you taking the time to spend with us, and please tune in for the next episode. Until then, we wish you all the best in freeing your true self. Stay focused and much love.